What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Chocolate City Podcast. It's your host, DJ D Damo. We got a great one for y'all. But before we do that, go ahead and run that intro. What's up, y'all? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get straight into it. We got a banger here for y'all today. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, boys? First and foremost.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy D. Online is D Talks a Lot. We got another beautiful episode today. I'm excited. I'm ready to get into it. A lot to talk about, fellas. A lot to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And it's Damo checking in again. Damo8186 on X, formerly known as Twitter. But yeah, man, we got a lot to unpack. What we talking? We talking football. We talking Mystics. We talking Wizards, man. So yeah, I'm excited too, man. Let's get into it.
Straight. Let's go. Hey, first things first, let's get into this NFL mock draft, round one only for the NFC East. All right. First one's up. The New York Giants at 5. Now, look, I know we ain't Giants fans, but we still gotta go through the NFC East. We ain't Cowboys fans either. We'll get to the good stuff, I promise y'all. So at 5, I mean, I'll just give my quick opinion. Looking at the Giants, they need a ton of stuff. I mean, they could go in any direction for real.
They could.
You could say they go wide receiver. You could say they go defense. And look, what's his their DT just requested a trade.
Dexter
Lawrence. So they
yeah.
honestly, it's that deep. They already have multiple DNs, so they could go. We're just gonna go through our picks. I think for them, they may actually go offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm thinking if the boy from Miami is there, Francis Manaloa, or they could go guard because they tried Evan Neal a while back. They tried to move him to guard. That didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Big Ione. They could go there. So actually, I think if anybody goes trenches first or from the NFC East, it might be them.
I agree. That's the same player actually I had mock for the Giants. It's a hardball type of move. I feel like Harbaugh's a trenches guy. You want to protect your quarterback, Jackson Dart. I thought about Cardinal Tate. I did pair him with neighbors. You in the NFC East, you got AJ, Devontae, you got George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. Well, if George Pickens comes to the Cowboys camps, but why not get another wide receiver duo in the NFC East? But
Yeah.
I think you get Andrew Thomas on the left side. You can put the kid from Miami on the right side.
Yeah.
Potentially have your cornerstones there
Yeah.
at your tackle spots to protect your guy Jackson Dart. So that's what I was thinking too. So I like that you said that.
I'm gonna go against the grain a little bit, man. I feel like
Leave it to the Commanders fan to go against the grain.
Well, you got Harbaugh, man. I feel like every Harbaugh defense had a great linebacker in the middle of it, and I look at Sonny Styles, man. I just feel like he checks all the boxes, man. He checks all the boxes. That's the quarterback of your defense. I think that's where they go.
This is actually interesting that you mentioned that though, because this is that time of year too where you get a lot of like false reporting, a lot of ghost injuries, and there's like a report out there now from multiple different sources that are saying that like Sonny Styles may be dropping in the draft outside the top 10 because some like with the way that the draft is falling from like quarterbacks to more offensive weapons, and especially it's like high at the DN spot, right? They're talking about like maybe he drops out of the top 10. So who knows, right? But again, it's the same thing they're saying with Caleb Downs, which he's my next prediction for somebody else we're going to get into, the next team we're going to get into, which is the Commanders, right? They talked about Caleb Downs possibly with this so-called ghost injury. Now, there's multiple ways that I feel like the Commanders could go to because, look, let's be honest. AARP team, y'all old as dirt. Y'all just need to get young.
Not no more. We done got young now. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm just saying, like y'all.
All right, watch it.
All seriousness though, I think it's time. If there's one player I always had respect for growing up, because he reminded me of B-Dog, it was Sean Taylor. I think Caleb Downs needs to be y'all's pick.
I agree.
I think Caleb Downs I think Caleb Downs should be the pick. I look, and I get it.
Kyshawn Taylor, but
No, look,
Respectfully.
look.
I was gonna
No, I'm not. No.
Styles, but you said Styles for the Giants. I was going to say Sonny Styles for you guys because I felt like that would have been a great pick for Dan Quinn. Now Sonny Styles is gone. I agree with DJ. Caleb Downs is a guy. He's versatile. I feel like he's a great fit for that Dan Quinn defense.
You could play him in the box too.
Yeah, I think he could do so many things.
And look, and no disrespect to Sean Taylor, the great Sean Taylor. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the prolificness of the safety position. Y'all haven't had that since Sean Taylor, is what I'm saying. You know, and I think because I mean, to be honest, if you were to look at some of the comps to Caleb Downs, most were saying like Buda Baker, right? Smaller but still hard hitting. You could still play him in the box. You could play a little with him in the nickel. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just think for y'all, that's good. Now y'all could go a different direction and go offense, but I want to see what you thinking. Let's see what the Commanders fan, the expert, is thinking right now.
Yeah, I want Jeremiah Love, man.
I knew it. I knew it.
Go big, go home, baby. I
knew it.
want Jeremiah Love.
I knew it.
I just think he's dynamic. Something is in my eye right now, and I'm like crying.
You know what it is? It's the BS. He don't even believe his own bullshit.
I'm like crying right now, dog.
He don't believe his own bullshit. That's what it is. That's what I'm saying. He like said that.
He said, He said,
no way.
man's body started breaking down on him when he said Jeremiah Love. That's how you know it ain't it.
Wait.
Jeremiah Love. He knew. He said Jeremiah Love.
Oh my God,
hey,
yo.
this is raw, by the way. Raw footage. This ain't no edits, no cuts, no nothing. This is straight raw. Like, hey, this is perfect. Nah, see, this is
for real. No, wait. Let me get back to my point.
Hey, producer, clip that.
No, Jeremiah Love, man. Jeremiah Love. He the real deal, Holyfield. That should be the pick. If he's there, I don't think he's gonna be there though. I
think
like
the Titans
Reese.
really gonna take him? You think the Titans gonna take
That's
him?
the only team I can see.
Somebody might trade up. It could be anybody, man.
I'm not trading
I think
up.
he's that dynamic.
I'm not trading up for a running back, bro.
Nah, but see, he's not just a running back. He is a weapon. Like that dude can split out wide. He can catch the ball. He can block his ass off. He's every time he touches the ball, he's liable to go for a touchdown.
Who does he remind you of? What's his comp? What you think his comp is? Where that crystal ball at? This is damn crystal. Where that crystal?
LaDainian Thomason. Yeah, I'ma stand on it.
You see?
I'ma stand on it.
You see?
I'ma stand on it. We're gonna come back to this. We're gonna come back to this.
We was real.
That's the
we
pick,
was trying
man.
to actually try and help
Hey,
their
Commanders
team.
fan, we up, man. That's
We
the
was
pick,
actually
man.
trying to
That's the
help their
pick.
team.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, it's like
We was
we
serious
was
with our
trying
picks.
to show a level of professionalism.
We
in
really
here.
was. I
And this
came
man
in
said, this man
serious.
with a straight face, LT.
He said he had his notes and everything
LT.
before we started, and he said,
That's what we
Jeremiah
remind.
Love.
That's what I see. I see a dynamic guy that you can split wide. You could play off the screen game. You can play him. I mean, you can put him in every formation, man. He can run between the tackles. He has no weaknesses, and he can block. How many running backs of his caliber that you know come in that can block? They seek out contact.
So, okay, for me, running back, especially at that high, is like, unless he's like a Bijan, Saquon type cross. What'd you say?
He's better than Bijan. He's better than Bijan.
Hey, I don't know what's going on this episode.
That's the reason why.
He's better than
Hold
Bijan.
up, man.
This man D had to take a whole pause. Like,
Hold
He's better than Bijan.
what'd you say?
Who else you about to name? Who else you
I was about to
name?
say Saquon. I'm talking
He
about.
better than him too. Saquon
I'm about to
don't
walk
catch.
off next.
Saquon
I'm about to
don't
walk
catch.
off
Man,
next.
all right.
This is so.
Saquon can't catch, man.
Running back is a luxury position, in my opinion. Similarly to the Eagles,
Yes.
when the Eagles had a very good team, they added Saquon Barkley to it because we seen Saquon in New York when he was just the main guy. He was really good, but the surrounding team was bad, so it didn't do anything. So I feel like the Commanders have so many more pressing issues on the defensive side of the ball with their defensive head coach. I think Krosky Merritt was solid. I think he was respectable. I think Rodriguez is
Not a
another-
number one.
I'm not saying that they're number one,
They
but
ain't
I
even
think
number two.
I think together they have a respectable rushing attack.
What
alongside
was y'all rushing rank last year for real? Like what was
I
it?
believe they were
Was
top,
y'all,
well, when Jaden was healthy, it was like
okay,
it was
like
top three
forget the
rushing
quarterback.
attack.
I'm talking about like straight.
But that's
running
mostly
back.
that's mostly the quarterback driving that. Though.
Okay, and
that's a lot of read option. That's the gimmick. I'm not talking about that.
What was y'all's like a top 5, top 10 offensive line?
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay, so that's my whole thing is that then adding a guy, if you know that that's somewhat of a missing piece because you have a dominant offensive line, but just your running back situation is weak, then obviously compared to Bill, the running back y'all got to
he's
Jeremiah
fine.
Love
No
makes
shot
sense.
to Bill.
But you know what actually would make more sense to me, especially since your GM likes to get like trade pick happy, like LA Rams F them picks.
Yeah.
Y'all would be better getting Breece Hall from the Jets and then drafting on the defensive side.
Okay.
I agree.
How is an Eagles fan making more sense?
I don't know.
Okay,
Maybe
I can see
this
that.
is why the franchise
But he not Breece.
That's why
Breece is not a home run hitter to me. He okay.
I'm telling you,
Jeremiah Love.
You know what's crazy though, because Caleb Downs is to me such a dynamic safety that he to me, like, people forget that there are such things as weapons on defense that are just so dominant. And I'm not because I just think y'all could do way better.
I'm gonna ask this
doing
question
that.
here: is he better than Kyle Hamilton? And Kyle Hamilton, I believe, went 14th, 13th to the Ravens.
That's a whole different draft, though.
That dude
First of all, but if I remember though, see that I'll tell you, drafts are driven by how many quarterbacks are first-round quarterbacks.
Correct.
And there's only one technical what they believe is a first-round quarterback. Maybe you can. What's the guy's Ty Simpson? Ty Simpson, maybe. But that's you know, like what was maybe. This reminds. I can't remember what draft it was that had there were so many non-quarterbacks taken up. Like I can't remember what draft that was. It was the one that had who was our backup quarterback during the Super Bowl? What was that dude's name? Kenny. It was like Kenny Pickett's draft where it's like nobody was going up. And I like the Kyle Hamilton draft, we'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure that had multiple quarterbacks going, and that's what drove Kyle Hamilton down.
But even still though, like even if you didn't have all those quarterbacks, I still don't think Kyle Hamilton, even in that draft, is a top 7 pick.
Okay,
and he to me is a much better prospect.
To answer your question, I don't.
Kenny was the first one to go in that class at 20.
Yeah, see, no, then that's my point. But so for Kyle Hamilton, I'll say I would take Kyle Hamilton, but that's just because he has those intangibles in the size.
And the size.
Like he's still he came out of Notre Dame as a hard hitter with that size.
Exactly.
Caleb Downs is a little bit smaller.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean I'm just saying if we're just talking about who I would take straight up, I would take Kyle Hamilton. But that's because he's got the stuff you can't teach.
And you're going Love over Sonny Styles if Sonny Styles is available.
Yes.
I've seen comps to Fred Warner, who's looked at as the top linebacker in the league. Somebody who I think with Dan Quinn, who has a high respect for Bobby Wagner, can be the Bobby Wagner replacement. I think it's a match made in heaven for y'all.
I feel like we already got our Bobby Wagner replacement. Frankie Louis. You gonna slide him?
Hey, look, all right. We moving on to the Cowboys.
You gonna put Neo?
Neo man stuck. All right,
like we already got our replacement. We don't need to. Nah, Jeremiah Love, man.
The Cowboys at 12 and 20.
Yeah.
We talked about this offline, off the podcast before we started. I mean, I think it's just straight up and simple. I think they're going to take those 2 picks, try to trade up.
I agree.
If they don't try to trade up into like the top, basically within the top 5, they're not going to get the 1 or 2, but maybe 3, 4, 5, they're going to try to trade up. They're going to try to get more production on the defensive line. Yeah. I think they're going to, especially if, let's say, Reuben Bain Jr. falls, which is expected. I think they may even get away with just trading that 12 and still keeping that 20, right? Because they have multiple picks as well. So the Cowboys may just try to, trade up. Do you think the Jets try to get more first-round picks, trade that 2 for 12, 20, maybe a second or a future first? Because look, Arvell Reese now.
Yeah,
that boy's a dog. So the Cowboys could try to get. I mean, they got picks, but again, we're talking about Jerry Jones too. Jerry Jones, like he been kind of acting right this offseason. But I don't know if I really.
George Pickens, he ain't. I mean, they saying George Pickens may not come to camp because he ain't trying to pay him.
Yeah,
he just went through this with Micah, but.
We'll my thing is though, is Reese at 2? Are you getting? is that a better selection than staying at what 12 and maybe hoping like a Bain Jr. is there?
Here's my thing.
Like
though.
is
The
Reese
Jets,
10 picks
to
better
me,
than
the
Bain?
Jets are just such a dumpster fire of an
Yeah.
organization
Yeah.
that getting one, like we're not talking about like when the Browns selected. Dang, why am I blanking? Like homeboy, the greatest like pass rusher of like
Miles
right now.
Garrett?
Miles
Yeah, it's
Garrett?
not like
I was
yeah,
like,
Miles
yeah, you
Garrett,
talking
like
about Miles?
it's not
Okay.
like my brain fart, bro. Like it's not like a general like
Yeah.
hey, like taking
Yeah,
him
that player-
like we got to take him. Like Alvaro Reese is good, but he's not Miles
Right.
Garrett good
No.
like generation. So and I just feel like, and we're just supposed to be NFC East. I just feel like there's an opportunity there for the Cowboys to jump up if they really want a dynamic pass rusher to add to
Right.
those 2 DT tackles that they just got.
Yeah.
Right? And that's going to make that defensive line look just as scary as the Eagles' defensive line, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I had them going if he's there
Mm-hmm.
at the time, and this may be this may be the deciding factor on if they trade up or not.
Yeah.
I had them going Mansour Delane, the cornerback out of LSU, because
They could definitely use a corner, too.
I
So I
feel
was
like their
thinking.
cornerback situation right now is god awful. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Terrible. Yeah.
They especially no more Diggs. Bland was always overrated to me.
That
But,
was the funniest person they tried to overhype.
yeah,
man.
he was always overrated. He was always overrated. So I think they go cornerback. I think with both picks, if they do decide on keeping both picks,
Yeah.
I have them going. I believe his name is C.J. Allen, out of a linebacker out of Georgia.
Yeah.
And I think I got them doubling up on defense because they need that. They got the offense.
Yeah.
They got the offense, but that defense needs work. And that secondary.
You know what, though? You just brought up something. They just could go secondary 2 times, right? If Mansour Delane is there, boom. Now you got a couple of safeties that are dropping too. You got Dylan, I hope I pronounced Dylan Thieneman, the boy out of Oregon. who's tested crazy.
Yeah.
Athletic
Right.
testing crazy for the opposite side. You know what I'm saying? Like opposite side, that boy tested pretty crazy. And then you also got that boy from Toledo, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, which that's a perfect segue because now we can get into the team that really matters, which
My
is
God.
our Eagles.
Right.
So,
who'd you have, Cowboys?
oh yeah.
Oh well, I like the idea of it, Delaney, or I was thinking maybe if he slipped, Caleb Downs. Like I think he,
I could see them getting down.
I could see,
I
or
think-
in
see, I
a
don't
trade
think-
up
I
they
don't
get down.
think Downs
Yeah.
falls past 10. I really don't.
Yeah,
I don't think he
I
falls
agree
that
with
far.
I agree with
Now, if they really want him, they trade up. But like for them, for Cowboys, you trade up for your edge that
for
you
the
want.
pass rusher.
You don't
Yeah,
trade
no, I
up
feel you on that.
for
I feel
Caleb
you on that.
Downs.
But I was thinking that if he slipped,
Yeah,
because I'm not convinced he goes top 10. I just got some questions about his size, and then you're that small, you're not
bookmark
dynamic.
this right now, and we'll see.
We'll see.
Bookmark it.
We'll see.
Clip it. Frame it. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna laugh so hard if y'all take Caleb Downs.
If we get Jeremiah Love, I just know be scared. Be very scared. Be afraid. Be
All
afraid.
right, man. We don't spend too
let's,
much time on
let's,
the
let's
deal.
segue.
Yeah, let's
segue.
go. Okay, so Eagles at 23. We're at 23 for a reason. Obviously, we made the only team in the NFC East to make the playoffs. So even though we got bounced out of the first round, right, we're gonna keep it.
Back-to-back NFC East champs for the first time since what was it? I don't know.
Oh
20
my
years
God.
ago.
I was
Oh
maybe
my
like
God.
5. I don't know how old I was back
I
then.
mean,
Oh
it was,
my
it was,
God.
yeah. I mean, look, it hasn't been done in a while, so.
Yeah.
Take the knee
Continue,
pads
continue,
off,
continue.
man.
God, like,
Jesus.
look, all I know is that we there, they ain't. We down at 23.
God.
I'm gonna keep it simple. At 23, Lane Johnson's getting old. Either we go offensive tackle, or I'm just gonna go with the flyer. I like the Toledo matchup because with Quinyon Mitchell coming out of Toledo, I like their safety, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. He's tall, he's lengthy, he's got stride. Man, tested pretty good on the combine, and I just think just kind of having that tandem between because with your safeties and your corners, you gotta trust. You gotta like pass that wide receiver off. He's known to be a turnover demon. I say we go with Emmanuel McNeil Warren, safety at 23. If Howie don't trade, because Howie's a trade
if he doesn't
demon.
trade.
So this is there's an asterisk next to this one because Howie tends to always trade.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier before we started filming. If we go Omar Cooper or Tyson, and these are looked at as A.J. Brown replacements, I'm going to be upset because it's just not it. That's not the type of move that we need to be making in the first round. Second round, third round, maybe we can grab a receiver, but you're not getting that close to the level of production as A.J. Brown regardless, so I wouldn't even waste my time.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Lane Johnson, he's getting up there. He can retire after this season, next season, who knows?
Yep.
The guy I went with was Caleb Lomu. I believe
Yep.
that may be his last name if I'm pronouncing
Yep.
it correctly, out of Utah.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've seen in research, they said he was a super athletic guy, which fits the bill, a tackle, a little rawish of a prospect, not the best run blocker, but a really good pass blocker. And like I said, I think that's the type of guy, a guy who has a high ceiling but a low floor that they can, afford to take that risk because they have Lane Johnson still there. Even if Lane Johnson gets hurt, they still have Fred Johnson, who they re-sign right behind him. So it's not like he's going to get thrusted into, similarly to Jordan Mailata.
Yeah.
Where, obviously we didn't know he was a future
7th round pick.
Yeah,
came out of nowhere.
but he's a guy who took time, was a raw prospect, but had good athleticism, and he built into something. I think it'll be similarly with him.
Yeah.
Those are good answers, fellas. I like them, man. They sound real astute.
I don't know.
Yeah. They sound real PC.
What's the bullshit?
You know? But what I think y'all actually going to do is actually get your A.J. Brown replacement in Jordan Tyson. 6'2", 215.
He literally said that to piss you off.
He did.
You know?
He
No, I did. No, I really believe it. I really believe
The
this.
time and effort that we actually put into thinking what the Commander should do, he just said, "Oh, this is gonna piss them off."
No, it's not. Look, I don't want y'all to take him because I think he's the best wide out in the draft. I don't want y'all to get y'all A.J. Brown replacement. I don't want Jalen Hurts having another weapon to look like he can be a decent passer.
To look like he can be a decent
I don't want that.
I
don't want that. But I think that's what y'all should do.
Okay.
I feel like where there's smoke, there's fire. A.J. Brown clearly has issues with the offense, has issues with the quarterback ability or inability to deliver an accurate pass. And I think y'all going to have to trade him. And whatever y'all get back, y'all can use that to address the O-line, to address some of the back-end issues. But, yeah, I think y'all go wide receiver here. Jordan Tyson, man.
We gonna go tackle.
Yeah, we're gonna go tackle. It's either tackle or defense. That ain't happening. Also,
clip it.
Clip it. Note it. Whatever. All right, but before we move on, another person I like, and I thought you were getting ready to say because of the syllables, but I thought you were gonna say Caden Proctor out of Alabama.
He's another guy.
I like him too, and he can pop in at guard and left, and the same thing that that tends to do with our offensive line. Like they like people with like positional versatility.
Correct.
So that could be somebody. All right, let's go ahead, switch it up. Now we're going to get to the Mystics. We got some big news that came out earlier this week. Jamila Weidman is out as the GM of the Washington Mystics, a source from ESPN breaks. Just initial reactions, fellas. What y'all thinking about that?
As somebody who isn't like avidly in the Mystic circle, like you two may be or other people may.
Yeah.
I had to garner a lot of my opinion from what the fan base said and what the WNBA media was saying. And the gist that I got from it was she was doing a really good job.
Yes.
I know Citron. I did see the stats, and so I did catch some Mystics games last season. Citron and Kiki, the two rookies, they balled out. They were hooping. It seemed like, to me, from the outside looking in, the Mystics were doing a really good job. They were building into something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So to see the GM get replaced or fired, it seems like the fan base and the media is a little confused, like what's going on. So it's got to be a decision that you better be right. You better be right with this, because if not, it's going to be a lot of backlash. It's going to be a lot of backlash.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something you saw coming, like, because of both, right, under Monumental, the Wizards, the Mystics, kind of like the rebranding, the new front office, right? You just thought to yourself, like, all right, like, what's happening on the Wizards? You saw that happening with the Mystics on that very first draft. We're talking about Sonia Citron, right? I mean, I didn't know much about her. I think she came from Notre Dame, I believe.
Notre Dame, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know much about her. I knew more about Kiki Iriafen,
Yeah.
right? Like, we knew about Kiki, right? We was like, oh, damn, that's a nice pick. Sonia coming out, they knew what they was doing with that, right? They knew what they was doing drafting her. And then let's not forget Georgia Moore out of Kentucky, smaller but a shooter, and more or less like a true kind of like point guard, still on the smaller side. But unfortunately, she got hurt had season-ending injury. So we're gonna see what she can do. Hopefully, this year. I know Troy. I was trying to look for the tweet and I gotta find it. I know Troy put out some information. Troy Halliburton, ESPN analyst. I know he put out some information about maybe what had happened. I'll probably try to find it here while we're still talking about it. But no, I mean, it just comes as a big surprise after 1 year. Clearly, there was just some difference between her and the rest of the front office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my instant reaction to it was just like, what? Like, it would be like if we fired Will Dawkins, like right now. Like she was brought in. I felt like it's kind of ushering a new wave, new set of eyes. Because clearly the last front office, they messed up. I mean, the biggest thing, passing on Angel Reese, that was a layup.
Mm-hmm.
You missed out on that, so you usher in a new staff, and I feel like she was doing a great job. She was doing what Dawkins was doing, asset accumulation. You had 3 picks last year. I mean, you got 3 picks this year. You got you own the Sky's 27 pick swap. So it's like you're in great position now to kind of usher in young talent, accumulate more and more assets, and build around a young group. And I just don't understand what the differences were. Like, was she trying to stay that course, and Winger is trying to kind of, I don't know, maybe parallel timelines with the Wizards. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but it was very confusing. So I'm a little confused at what the next step is here. So,
and I want to do some clarification, right? Because Troy's our boy, right? Fan of the show. No official reporting from Troy, just a few opinions on what he thinks may have been the case. So if anybody just wants to go to his Twitter, Sir Troy Halliburton, make sure to check him out, give him a follow. But I wanted to clarify that no official reporting. Yeah, I think it's we talked about this on the side, right? It's like, okay, like, did she want to go younger? Did they want to like try to go all in? Simultaneously, what happened not too long after, maybe it was before, Angel Reese, right?
Yeah.
Angel Reese got traded. It's like, were they
Was
trying
they
to
in
go
on
for
that?
Angel? Did she not
Yeah.
agree? Did somebody else swoop in and
Yeah.
do that, right? I mean, look, Angel Reese to DC, she's from B-More. Like,
Yeah.
everybody knows that. I know. And look,
Oh my God.
look, Damo is notoriously known, boy, during that draft where he was just like, Angel was right there. I think we were all thinking that, to be honest, right? Angel was right there.
It
a
just
layup,
made too
man.
much
And
sense.
it made too much sense.
Yeah, man.
But I do agree, though, as a prospect. I mean, it really depends on what you're going for. I'm not mad at any of our picks that we made. I like Sonia and Kiki, dominant, right? Love what they did their first year, and let's just hope that Georgia can do the same. But yeah, I know it's just completely confusing, but I know one thing's for sure, though, right? To me, this all now screams, especially after that trade, and we had pick swaps with the Chicago Sky because they made that trade with the Atlanta Dream. I don't even know what Chicago. I don't even know what the Sky was thinking, because that's pick swaps for us. We own that pick swap, right?
Yep.
So it's that Juju Watkins race. I'm telling you.
Yeah. And we ain't even really we don't really have to tank because we got the pick swap.
And so we got 3 first-round picks this year, and I kind of want to quickly get into that real quick, because we have the 4th pick, the 9th, and the 11th.
Yep.
And I kind of think, if right, if you're not getting vets, right, like time will only tell, right? We have, as of this recording, I believe that the draft is what, like this week or next week?
A few days,
yeah, it's coming up.
It's coming up, yeah.
So you keep that 4th pick. That 9th and 11th pick, I think you should trade that to anybody who wants to just get picks for next year. If you're already a team, right, that's either looking to win now and you don't know what could happen next year, right? Similar to how we talk about NFL trading for future draft picks, just trade those to next year, and then just pile up as many first-round picks as you can next year. Yeah. So like no one's gonna out, like, no amount of picks I think is gonna convince anybody who gets the number 1 to go for Juju. Yeah. But there is a very strong WNBA women's draft next year as well, for sure. Right? So all I'm saying is give yourself a better chance. As far as this year is concerned, honestly, I think 2 things. 2 people who I'm thinking. You can either take Kiki Rice out of UCLA, right? DMV girl, point guard, or you take Lauren Betts, which to me, I think if you're sitting at 4, you just take Lauren Betts. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's 6'7". You
That's
don't teach
what popped
that.
out to me. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
a center, 6'7".
Yeah.
I saw the stats that she was putting up at UCLA.
Especially if you were in on the Angel Reese thing, you know, where you're like, okay, you need create second chance opportunities, rebounding. You need a defensive anchor. That's the safe pick.
Right.
In a perfect world for me, let me ask y'all this real quick.
Yeah.
Do y'all think the Mystics have, quote unquote, that guy or that girl yet on the roster?
I wouldn't say so.
See,
You think about it.
See,
Not
because
yet.
I'm a little biased because
okay.
Kiki, look, man, Kiki's like, seeing her at USC, seeing her when she was at Stanford before,
Yeah.
I went to the first Mystics game last year, and you would have thought to yourself, like, this ain't no rookie, dog.
Yeah, for sure.
She didn't care. She was going up against the Atlanta Dream with Brittany Griner. She did not care.
She's a dog.
Right? But let's just like tear it open, tell you like Juju's a different. That's not only money,
And that's what I'm
seeds,
thinking about.
That's
Yeah,
like
that's
Juju. Juju is like a generational talent of a person who, honestly, she could be a Maya Moore type, if not greater.
And
let's just keep it real. And Maya Moore is my goat.
Yeah, like I'm trying to double up. Honestly, if there was a way for me, because I feel like Olivia Miles is the best player in this draft by far. Like I think she's basically a walking
TCU
triple
point
double.
guard, right?
Yeah, she's a walking triple double. To me, she's one of the best passes I've seen come out of college. I feel like if you can get her, and then next year you can mess around and get Juju, I think that's a guard tandem that can lead you to a championship. So that's what I'm thinking. But I understand with the big, if you want to get Betts, if you can get her, that's a safe option. You know that's not going to be a buzz. You know she's not going to be off your team in 2-3 years like Aaliyah Edwards.
That's unfortunate, but that comes more from a change of ownership, a change in GM, and they knew what they were doing. They doubled up and chose Kiki, and that was never gonna.
So if the goal is that the Mystics may want to try to become more competitive in the rebuild right now, wouldn't Betts be the pick for them because you want more of a safer player as opposed to a risky player who may not pan out?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think you book her right in. She's gonna be double big, anchor your defense, and you know she's gonna be productive for you.
That's it. I think the pick is Betts. I would love to go with Rice, but you know that's because it's DMV girl, right? I mean that's the reason why I like that. But we'll see. Tune into the draft, and you know we'll talk about it during the next EP. All right, now let's get into the Wizards. So I put out a tweet, and I specifically asked. I said, you know what? We got a lot of young talent. We've already been balling, but people don't forgot about Kyshawn George because he's been hurt.
Yeah.
And I casually put out there. I said, you know, who do you all think has like the higher floor, right? Who do you think is going to be? And I took a vote. I said, is it going to be Kyshawn George or is it Will Riley? Like, who has the higher upside?
Yeah.
And you know, that took off a little bit more than I thought it would, but it's a good question. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. Donald, let's start with you, man. I know you got something to say about this.
So let me ask real quick: who won the poll?
You know what? I believe it was Will.
Was it by a lot or a little bit?
It wasn't. It was close.
It was close. Okay.
I think it was Will though.
In that vein, man, I think, man, this is tough, man, because Kai, he's 2 years older. I think obviously he's a better defensive player. I don't think Kai has that on-ball chops that Will Riley has, and for me, that is what separates the boys from the men, so to speak. Like that's what separates the role players from the stars. Like that on-ball ability to get to the lane. Like to me, Will Riley is the best driver on this team. Like as far as creating paint touch, as far as getting a defense to move and shift. He's second to Trae Young to me on this roster. And then for him to be 6'9" doing it while also being able to have a clip, he just got a herky-jerky style, man. And I know this might sound crazy, but I said it a couple months ago. His movements remind me of that kid in OKC with the cornrows, okay?
That's his boy too.
I'm not saying that they the same level of talent, but just how they go about their business,
Right.
the moves they make, the herky jerkiness. Like they don't beat you with raw power quickness. They beat you with weird pivots, shooting off the wrong leg, weird Euro steps in the lane, and just like a savviness that you can't guard it. You just look up and he's by you. He getting the bucket. So I think Will Riley, man, shout out to Mama Riley. I think Will Riley got a shot to be the Wizards' long-term point guard of the future, man. Like, so I'm
You know,
going
so
Will Riley, man.
we were just talking about this earlier, where there's a world where Trey comes out and Will comes in as the point guard, and then you're talking about Will Riley, maybe Keyshawn George, maybe Bilal Coulibaly, AD, Sar, or just replace anybody with AD. Just you're talking about anywhere between us, literally at the shortest with Bilal's like 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
Talking about a lineup of wings, and then Sar who could play 4 or 5. That's going to be insane. So to answer your question, Will Riley 51%. Kyshawn George, 49%.
That's tight. That's basically toast, man.
And I wonder what the percentages would be, because that poll was how was that, a week or so ago or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was about a week ago.
I wonder, that's before the 30-point performance.
Yeah, the back-to-back performances.
So I wonder how it would change now based off of those 30-point
But
games.
you know what though? This is why, like, one Wizards fan, and if I'd give him a shout if I remember, but he said something that really made me think, is that the fact that we as Wizards fans can even have this conversation is crazy.
Agreed.
Right? It's kind of crazy
man.
enough that we can even have these conversations. And 206 people voted, by the way. So that's not no small number.
Yeah.
This is our fan base really being smart about and saying, Will Riley, like, that's real. But also KG, and let's not forget about him just because he's been hurt. And I'm gonna play devil's advocate, man, because I think, man, that nothing surprised me more than at the beginning of the year. Nobody would have told me that Kyshawn George would be leading the way like that first couple of weeks.
After he dropped that 30 against the Mavs, everybody was saying how they
Everybody
was
was
talking
eyes was
about
open.
Will
And then-
Riley. They was talking about Kyshawn.
And that's what I'm
at that
saying.
time.
It's just like, if they were both, but I also understand like Will has this opportunity now to show out because KG and some of these other, obviously maybe by design of the tank, but some of these people have been hurt. But it also shows, again, the growth aspect, because Homeboy was in the G League a couple of times, and then it's like you kind of like saw Monumental put out a video where you saw kind of him going through the little growth throughout the year, and that's what we like, right? That's the reason why we got our coach. Now I know some people may disagree. I know I ain't gonna bring up that old.
That's
wound,
a hot button
but
topic there.
the man was brought in for growth purposes, okay, to grow our young players. No, but I'm gonna go KG because I just that two-way ability to me, and as a team who's been so like non-existent on defense from time to time, like I think I'll give you this. As far as like the craftiness and the shiftiness on the scoring ability and getting downhill, Will, like I like I'll be honest, there's something real nice about watching him just handle the ball at 6'10", right? Like tight handles, gets down, like boy, that little, especially against Draymond, that little up. I was like, damn.
Which way did he go?
That was like, which way did he go? Which way did he go? That was nice, right? But then KG is kind of like what I was telling D earlier, was like he it's not like he doesn't have a bag. It kind of reminds me, what's that dude, the nickname Slow Mo? It's just
Kyle Anderson.
it's kind of slow, but it's like, but he's the better pure shooter out the two. Like, so the two-way ability, I mean, it's kind of like pick your poison, right? Because you got somebody who's more crafty, can get downhill, tighter, better handles, right? A little bit faster, but doesn't necessarily have those chops on defense, needs to work on that aspect. But then you got a two-way player who honestly has his own bag, maybe not as nice and as crafty as Will, but he's a better pure shooter overall, like a better, like you trust. Now you saying that, but if it came down to the buzzer, who you trusting more to take that three?
What kind of shot is it? Is it off the dribble or is it catch and shoot?
Any.
Nah, I can see if it's off
I'm
the
going
dribble,
KG.
I'm going Will Riley. If it's catch and shoot, I'm going Kai.
He was already doing that though. That's what I'm saying. People are forgetting.
Nah,
I
I'm
think-
remembering.
He was
I'm
pulling up
remembering
from the
because
logo.
Will is the new kid on the block. He the new kid in school.
yeah, like-
you know what I mean? So he's a nice shiny
It's
new
tough,
toy.
man. It's
I
tough.
get it. I respect it. But I mean, I'm not going to ignore the growth I've seen from KG from year 1 to year 2, and I get it. He tailed off a little bit, but so did majority of the team at sports. Trey Johnson right now, well, I wouldn't say right now, but Trey Johnson at a point was going down a little path where it was like, he's kind of been in a little slump, and that's what naturally happens. But I look at it as in a competitive setting, which the Wizards will try to be next season.
Yeah.
Is Will Riley going to be able to have the opportunity / usage that he has now currently? Who's a better fit? Whose potential is greater in that kind of a setting? And that's how I look at it. Not more so one-on-one, where it's like, oh, his offensive ability is better. He can carry an offense as opposed to KG, who's more third option in that kind of offense.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm KG. I'm a KG guy. I think he's going to start next season. I think he's going to play well next season when they're playing competitive basketball. In the defensive thing, it matters to me as well. So I'm Team KG. I'm also Team Will Riley. But I'm just not going to let people like,
we're not going to forget about KG.
Yeah.
There's no disrespect to Kai, man. Not at all.
All right, guys. Well, look, I know one thing. We're going to figure out next year. KG going to be healthy. Will going to be in his second year. But again, this is a good problem. You know what I'm saying? When have we had this? This is good. So, all right, we're going to wrap it up. This has been a real good episode. It's the Chocolate City Podcast. It's your host, DJ D Damo. We'll see y'all next time.